I asked for a review because I didn't think it was a foul.
President Donald Trump has publicly confirmed that he personally contacted FIFA to request a review of a suspension handed to United States forward Folarin Balogun during the ongoing World Cup, a disclosure that has added a new layer of controversy to a decision already drawing sharp criticism from multiple national federations and European football bodies.
And, again, I'm good at this stuff. I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was two great athletes that crashed into each other and got entangled. That was not a...
Here is what happened, in order. During the United States' group stage match against Bosnia-Herzegovina, Balogun was shown a straight red card for a challenge on defender Tarik Muharemovic. Under FIFA's standard disciplinary rules, a straight red card of that nature triggers an automatic one-match suspension, which would have ruled the 25-year-old out of the USA's last 16 fixture against Belgium in Seattle. Balogun has been one of the more productive attacking players for the United States at this tournament, having scored 3 goals through the group stage, so his absence would have been a significant blow to the team's chances. Then came the unexpected turn. FIFA announced that it would suspend the automatic ban for 12 months rather than enforce it immediately, effectively clearing Balogun to play against Belgium. This is an unusual mechanism, and it is not something FIFA regularly applies to red card suspensions at a World Cup. The decision meant Balogun could take the field for the knockout matches scheduled, despite the sending off. That ruling immediately drew backlash. The Royal Belgian Football Association released a statement saying it was astonished by FIFA's move, and said it intended to keep pressing the issue in the days and months following the match, framing its objection in terms of fairness and the integrity of the competition. UEFA, European football's governing body, went further, describing FIFA's intervention as crossing a line that should not be crossed when it comes to overturning an on-field disciplinary outcome mid-tournament. England manager Thomas Tuchel also weighed in, though his comments were less about Balogun specifically and more about the precedent the decision sets. Tuchel's own team had just gone through a similar disciplinary moment, with defender Jarell Quansah sent off during a 3-2 win over Mexico. Tuchel said he did not have a clear answer for where the line should be drawn when it comes to appealing or reconsidering refereeing decisions, raising the question of whether this opens the door for other national federations to seek similar reviews of yellow or red cards they disagree with. It was against this backdrop that Trump addressed the matter directly at the White House on Monday.
That was not a guy punching somebody in the face or anything.
He confirmed that he had spoken with FIFA President Gianni Infantino about the Balogun situation, but he was careful to clarify the nature of that conversation. According to Trump, he asked FIFA to review the sending off because he did not believe it was a genuine foul, describing the incident as a collision between two committed athletes who became tangled up in a physical challenge rather than a deliberate act of foul play. He said he did not instruct FIFA on what to do, and that he believed the actual decision to suspend the ban was made by a disciplinary panel or commission rather than by Infantino personally. Trump also said he believed FIFA had made, in his words, the right call, arguing that enforcing the suspension would have left what he called a big stain on the tournament. Trump did not stop at defending the outcome. He also criticized the referee who issued the original red card, Brazilian official Rafael Claus, calling the decision horrible and suggesting the referee's judgment was questionable. For context, it's worth understanding just how rare this kind of reversal is. Since automatic suspensions became standard practice in international football, red card bans at the World Cup have essentially been treated as non-negotiable. Of the 189 other red cards shown across World Cup history under this system, only one player has ever avoided the resulting suspension. That was Brazilian legend Garrincha, back in 1962, a case that predates the current automatic ban structure entirely, and has long been associated with allegations of political pressure behind the scenes. In other words, the closest historical parallel to what has just happened with Balogun is a 63-year-old episode that is remembered largely because of how unusual and controversial it was. That's the scale of precedent FIFA has now waded into. This also comes at a moment when FIFA's relationship with the United States, and with Trump specifically, has been under a spotlight given that the U.S. is a co-host of this World Cup alongside Canada and Mexico. Infantino has cultivated a visible public relationship with Trump throughout the build-up to the tournament, and this episode is likely to renew scrutiny of how much influence political figures may have, or may be perceived to have, over footballing decisions during a global event hosted partly on American soil. When FIFA was asked directly by the BBC to respond to Trump's comments, to address the criticism from Belgium, and to explain the reasoning behind the appeal process that led to the suspended ban, the governing body said only that it had nothing further to add for now. That leaves several questions unresolved. What exactly the appeals process looked like, who sat on the panel that made the call, and whether any similar review requests will be entertained for other teams going forward. For the United States, the immediate practical outcome is straightforward. Balogun remains available and is expected to be part of the squad for the last 16 match against Belgium in Seattle, kicking off at 1700 local time. For everyone else involved, the situation is far from settled. Belgium has indicated it plans to keep raising the issue beyond the final whistle, regardless of the result on the pitch. UEFA's public position suggests European football authorities may push FIFA for clarity on how and why this exception was made. And Tuchel's comments point to a broader concern spreading through other coaching staffs about whether disciplinary rulings at this tournament are now open to reconsideration under the right kind of pressure. What happens next will likely depend less on the outcome of the Belgium match itself and more on whether FIFA offers a fuller explanation of its decision-making process, and whether other federations test that same appeals mechanism in the round still to come.